My name is Lauren Tennant. I am CEO and founder of a company called Horizon 7, and we are a tech procurement company. My job now is to lead the thought leadership thinking around how we develop tech procurement going forward. So that's really enabling tech leaders like CIOs, like I used to be, in terms of realising the benefits of the tech that they're buying. So I've moved from more of a doing operational role and delivery role into a research and development and business development kind of role. It all started with applying agile principles to buying tech. Then we moved on to applying agile principles for contracting for tech. So now we do both those things. For me now, the next big thing is how do you integrate that technology? So you've gone out and bought something, but how do you land that in a way that your organisation can consume and in a way it can effectively plug and play with the rest of what you already bought? So for me, it's all about integration capabilities for organisations now. How do we apply agile thinking and refresh thinking to service integration and management type principles? So that's kind of life cycle around tech buying and living through tech. Quite often it's easy to buy it, contract it, and then lose the benefit or not ever realise the benefit. So yeah, next step for me is realising value through integration. Delivering through agile-based processes allows you to learn as you go. So more collaborative face-to-face procurement with tech partners enables you to co-create solutions, learn, develop, deploy, realise value more quickly. How will your tech land within an organised framework of the people that you've got, the organisational structure you've got and the processes you've got? Quite often that's not thought through. So you buy a piece of tech in isolation and then it doesn't do what it should do when it lands. Starting a business is probably one of the most recent ones. Starting successfully business in a pandemic, living an ordinary life whilst starting a business, doing a doctorate whilst living a life whilst running a business, growing a business, scaling a business, all of those things. But before that, I think as a practitioner, it was really hard to try and do the day job whilst also think strategically, grow your business. But you also, I think one thing that we don't do very well as founders or CEOs is think about our own welfare and our own well-being and our life balance and all that good stuff. We often come last. So yeah, there's definitely a whole bunch of different priorities to think about in my role. Yeah. One thing we do now is dedicate, so we've gone to 4.5 days a week of pure delivery of objectives, half a day week of we call it sharpening the saw. That's all back to Stephen Covey's 7 Habits, if you know that, but it's basically half a day a week focused on you. That might be physical, mental, spiritual, emotional well-being, spending time with your family, whatever. So I give my team half a day a week to focus on that, because I recognise that happy people are really good people that work for you, and they deserve it, right? I think this is a really difficult question, actually, because there are so many different sources of information. There's a lot of pressure to be green. There's a lot of greenwashing. I actually think when you ask me that question, I think a lot of the tech vendors have got a really interesting opinion on this. And there's a few people that I've coached to, instead of trying to solve all of their own problems around sustainability tech challenges, is actually go and set those challenges to some of the big tech vendors who have some really good ideas, who have maybe gone end to end in, say, manufacturing or supply chain or what have you, applying a lens of how do we put tech in this space to achieve results. So they've done it, and they've done it in a lot of the ways in organisations that these guys work for. So I don't think we work collaboratively enough with the tech vendors. I think we could do more of that. Studio I love because it's done, first and foremost, it's done really professionally, which is one of my favourite things about it. I think you can engage with it and know that you're not going to be spending a day wasted. So the content's always really relevant. The attendees are always really relevant too. So they've always got interesting points of view. Having been on some of the panels before, I think I love the way that I'm engaged with in terms of asking what questions I think are relevant for the time. So it's not about satisfying someone else's agenda. It's about answering questions that tech professionals have there and then at the time. And I love the way that the content is represented afterwards. So that's all cool. What have I taken away from today or any other sessions? I think it's just about actually that everyone's got some really interesting points of view and they're always all different. So less about necessarily specific technology messages. I really loved Freddie's from Times Higher Education. He's on a bit of a mission to resolve the problem of inequality when it comes to access to tech. So today I'm taking that away and I'm going to go and see what I can do there. But generally speaking, it's about meeting people and learning that they all have different points of view and something interesting to add, which this format really allows for.